let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go, 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 go!
Six!
It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Tuesday. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Tuesday morning. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, it's good to have you with us this morning on your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, and it's good to see the community out there already getting involved, hit that subscribe button. We'd like subscribers. Give this video a like. And, of course, start leaving your comments in the comment section. And you can follow us on our other social media channels. I'm Travis Justice, and the guy on location is the one, the only Ross Peterson. He is live at Willis Automotive.
Feeling good, looking good. You know that thing of, like, when you dress up, you act better?
Yes.
There's something about being around Willis that makes me feel better. Right, I act like I'm more mature today. Look at me. I'm all grown up. Big boy today.
You look like a guy who could purchase a car today. That's what it looks like. It looks like a guy who could purchase a car today.
I feel like I'm giving a press conference. I feel like I'm set up in a position here. Looks the table, it's an optical illusion. It looks like I'm at the long end of a long. It's not. It's a normal table. I'm just not a normal-sized guy. And so you got this stuff in front of me. It changes the perspective. It makes it look like I'm doing a press conference.
It really, really does. I feel like if anybody has questions for Ross, 515-517-2303.
Go ahead. Travis Justice, you got one for me?
Mr. Peterson, are we winning the war?
I feel like the minister of misinformation in Iraq. Remember that dude?
So before we went on the air, I'm looking at Ross. He's talking about this table. I go, you look like that guy from the Iraqi war who would give those news conferences and just be lying out of his teeth, but you would just spew information.
The minister of misinformation, because they called him the minister of information, was his title with Iraq. But he would do press conferences on the balcony, and the city was burning behind him, and he's like, "We're winning the war. I don't know why people say we're." They're like, behind you is why.
You do look like you're giving a press conference. You're ready to speak on the Iowa Hawkeyes. You're ready to be a spokesman for Lexus. And I'm questioning the floral arrangement that you have to your left, but
that was here. Okay, so watch what happens when I move that. See the microphone swing?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So that is actually placed for a reason.
It's a doorstop almost.
It's a doorstop. You know what I could use? I could use the Carfax.
No, I'm getting used to the flowers now. So it's just kind of like.
Now you said it. Now I got to move it. I bet the Carfax could work. I don't want to use Herky. Herky inside. Look at basketball Herky inside of Kinnick Stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know what. There's a lot going on there. He should also be wearing a singlet.
Oh, that would have made it. Yeah. Okay. Holding a basketball, wearing a singlet. That would make a lot of sense.
It's designed for that. There's little footholes in Kinnick Stadium for that Herky. Never seen one like that.
And it's a bobblehead too.
And then they've got their Principal Charity Classic here and their Lexus Award, which is it's 5 parts.
Being the realtor that you are, you should be driving off the lot with a Lexus today. That's what
Listen, I'll have the opportunity tonight. Tonight's their big event. That's why most of the crew is probably going to be showing up late today, Travis, because they've got a long day planned. I see Chris Meharry's already here outside. So that's what kind of event they're expecting today.
We're talking about the new car show because you're probably wondering, why is Ross live at Willis Automotive? Well, Willis Automotive powers the Rush Radio Show.
Hey, I might need to go let Meharry in.
Oh, go ahead, and you go ahead and go let Meharry in, and I will tell people what's going on tonight, because tonight at 4:45 is the official start of the new car show at Willis Automotive. You're going to check out the new Infinitis, the new Nissans, the new Cadillacs, the new Lexus, the new Land Rovers, and you can see the 2026 models. And this just isn't come to a lot and look at cars. This has come to a lot and party your butt off. That's right, party your butt off, because there is free food, and you're going to go around to different stations. You're going to go around to the different models and makes of cars, and you're going to have a different food station at every single stop. You're going to have something to drink at every single stop. You're going to have live music at a lot of the stops, whether that's acoustic music, whether that's a DJ. It is, kind of going old school with this. A lot of people use the internet to look at their new cars now. But that's not the same as looking at it, at touching it, feeling it, at sitting inside of it. So it's going to be something that's just fun to get people together and really enjoy new cars. So Ross is out there this morning. We are both going to be out there this afternoon, and we'd love to see you at Willis Automotive. And come up, say hi, have a little bit of fun with us. And, again, and if you don't want to look at a new car, guess what? They have a lot of certified pre-owned cars. And I'm anxious to look at some of the Infinitis. I'm kind of fond of the QX60. And not, it might be a little bit out of my price range, but it doesn't hurt to look. It does not hurt to look. And don't expect a hard sale tonight. Just go out there, have a little bit of fun, and enjoy the evening. It's supposed to be a good evening, too.
I'm back, baby.
I see that.
Bit out of breath.
You ran quick. You're out of breath?
Not in shape. Not in the shape I used to be in, Trav. It's fastest kid in the world.
I did an interview last night, Ross. You may want to hook up with Austin Archery. He runs runandref.com, and he does training for referees. And
yeah,
and as we get closer to the basketball season, a lot of these college basketball refs need to be in shape but when the season starts. So I did an interview with him last night on how to work with referees, what they need to work on. He brought up a good idea, and I need to talk to John Higgins about this. And he got a lot of pushback from officials when he posted on his Facebook page that, if you're going to be a college ref, and he really focuses on soccer, football, rugby, and basketball officials. He really kind of got to start in soccer, but it kind of ventured into football and basketball. And hear me out here. And I'm trying to figure out why he would have got so much pushback. He just went out there, we talked about it a little bit last night, is that he believes officials should have to pass a physical fitness test to not keep your job, but to at least say you are physically fit enough to be an official. I don't think that's going too far out on a limb, but he goes, I got a lot of pushback.
Yeah, I bet you would. Because, Travis, you know this from your relationship with John Higgins, man. It's a good old boys club. It is a good old boys club. And the guys that are doing it that are the best at it, have been doing it for a long time. They protect that. And they don't want to have to do a certain number of push-ups, decide if they're good at being a basketball official. And as I say that out loud, I think maybe I'm probably in that camp a little bit too, Trav, where I totally agree. Like on the instinct of it, I go, absolutely. I actually, this is something I watched last night on the Monday night games. One of those sideline officials did not look like he can't keep up with the receivers. What are we doing? In basketball, I think those sports you named, when you name those sports, I tried to think of any other sport where the official has to be not necessarily as physically fit. That's not the case, but you got to be physically fit in order to do the job. Soccer and rugby, dude, a soccer official, you're jogging for about 90 minutes. You're jogging.
And I asked Austin, I said, what would you do? I mean, he goes, it would be more it wouldn't be push-ups and sit-ups. It'd be more, hey, let's do, kind of an interval
and I just
sprint.
use that as a thing. Trav, you ever come over to the Wolves?
I have not been to a Wolves game.
Dude, you look at those G League refs. They look like they all do CrossFit.
I actually brought up CrossFit last night. I said, is that a good exercise to do for officials? He goes, unless you're a CrossFitter, the answer to that is no, because you actually, if you just jump into it, you run the risk of injury, right?
CrossFit's real intense. It's not for beginners.
Yeah, it's really intense. Now, I will say this, and you're probably wondering why I do these interviews. I actually host the Make the Right Calls podcast on the John Higgins Basketball Association. It's a website specifically for referees at the high school level and into the college level. And this may surprise you, Ross, or it may not. And I think this is where we're getting closer. We can go back 15 years, maybe 20 years, and really remember officials that were probably heavier, looked out of shape, did not look the part. If you talk to any official now, and I've interviewed John about this because he runs the consortium for the Big 12 Conference, for the Missouri Valley Conference, for the now Pac-12, is that first of all, you got to be a good communicator. That's number one. If you can't communicate with coaches and players, you're probably not going to be able to move up to the college ranks. You have to obviously get your calls right. Number 3 on the qualifications to get moved up is you have to look the part. Meaning that we always made fun of Ed Hockley, how he had the tailored
I don't know if we made fun of Ed Hockley. It was definitely part of the personality. I don't know.
Yes.
What's the right way to say that, Trav? We didn't make fun of Ed Hockley. What would be the right way to say that? Because we didn't make fun of him.
We were probably jealous of him more. It is like you look at the guy in the tailor. Do you have to send your referee jersey to a tailor?
Dude was kind of jacked.
He was jacked. But now look at a Clete Blakeman, who's one of the top officials of the National Football League. He's tailored. You look at a lot of these college Kip Kissinger. I could use Ron Groover. I could use a number of these other college basketball officials. There's not much body fat on them. Yeah. And so number 3 to move up the ranks is you have to look the part. And I totally get that. And it's no different that if you are on television, if you are a politician, some people just look the part. You go, oh, he looks like the president of the United States, or he looks like a senator.
You go down to those G League games, you'll know exactly what he's talking about. And I know that's the NCAA and the NBA are two different systems there, but you'll know exactly what he's talking about. They have a look. The NBA is looking for a look for the officials. Now, I'd also say this: you go down to those G League games, you're more than likely to see a female official, and I think that's awesome. I think that's great for several reasons. Number one, they absolutely can do the job. That's the physical. What am I trying to say? Expectations of that job. I know a lot of women that can meet the physical expectations of that job, and I can't. And they, good eyesight, good judgment, all those things that you need. Another cool thing is, this, Trav. I take my daughter down to those Wolves games.
Yeah.
She sees a woman official. That is the coolest thing to her. She's like, no way. Women can do that. Girls can be there. Yeah. Girls can do anything, honey. Despite what Travis tells you, girls can do anything.
Now, but I don't think they fall in any different. Is you still have to look the part, right? I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
You
like
have
a guy,
to be.
You can't be
you
fat.
have to be fit.
You got to be fit.
The right word is fit. You don't have to be jacked. You don't have to look like you do CrossFit, although most of them do look like they do CrossFit. You got to be fit. Got to be able to do the job physically. I think that's a cool thing. And those sports that you named, obviously hockey's another one. Takes a lot of special skills to be a hockey official.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It would be interesting to, because everybody has their own specialty. But what do you think would be the hardest sport to officiate? To me, basketball would probably be it, just because of all the contact in the paint, to really know when to call a foul, when not. You have to know the flow of the game. But to me, hockey would be difficult.
Hockey, because I can't skate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. In hockey, rule number 1 isn't knowing the rules or communicating. You have to be able to skate, and you have to be quite a good skater.
You can't stay on your skates and watch the action. You're useless.
Yeah.
So But, dude, can I make a case that football, because you need – well, okay, let's break this down. You need so many officials for a football game.
And you have a lot of eyes to help you out. In college basketball, you only have 3 eyes on the court, right?
Yep.
I mean, those football, you've got a number of what's
and everybody kind of has their own – everybody's
zone.
Watching their own zone. But I do think that's another one. There's so much contact and there's so many things happening, and you can really only focus on one thing at a time. Can I say all of them? Soccer is one person on an entire field. Has to watch 360 degrees.
Hold on. You're right. I never thought of that. The side people just do the flags, right?
Yep, just offsides.
So it's really one person?
Yes.
I never thought of that one person being in charge of 11 on 11. Baseball would be really...
Dusty's
not much...
nailing it. The strike zone. The best in the world get one wrong every day.
I've never wanted to be an official. I'm fascinated by officials. I love to bitch about officials, but I've never wanted to be. And I think that's a bit hypocritical. We're easy to criticize officials, but have you ever been in the arena? Right? It's like it's not as easy as one would portray it to be.
Yeah, I did. We did this a lot when I was a kid. So my dad was always really involved with Pleasant Hill Little League, and then I got. When I was a kid, I started coaching and getting involved, and that meant volunteering to umpire or filling in to umpire. So yeah, man, I was behind the plate. I did the bases, did a lot of that, and it does give you that perspective. It's really hard.
Yeah, and they're all unique in their own way. But I look at college basketball, I look at the NBA, and you go, man, just to know the flow of the game. Because officials can disrupt the flow of a game really, really quick if they have quick whistles and just don't let people get into a rhythm. But fascinating conversations with fitness, everything. And you were out of breath when you got back, so you may.
I'm better now. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, because you've calmed down. Your heart rate's gone down.
Harry was impressed with my athletic prowess. As I was running, he even said, "You look like a gazelle." Is that what you said? Yeah, something like that.
A gazelle. I could see that. You kind of look like the emu is what you kind of look like.
I've told you this. The guys at the real estate office say I look like a praying mantis. Don't laugh. Don't laugh at that.
I'm not laughing at you.
You laughed. You absolutely giggled at that.
I had the little snort in it. That's what I did. The little snort.
I think it's really mean that they say that about me. Really mean.
I just want to help people out because we would like people to come out to Willis Automotive tonight and look at the new cars first and foremost. Second, to come out and see us and say hi and tell us what you like about the show. And where are you exactly? And where are you set up? What showroom are you in? And where should people come?
I am in the main. And you can't come right now. I want to be clear. I would love to have people here right now, but we're doing this more to entice people to come tonight. And when you come tonight, I am in like the main Lexus showroom.
Okay.
So I am facing 100th Street. Well, if you take 35th Street, Travis, the Valley West Mall exit, and the Valley West Mall exit kind of weaves. Once you get north of Valley West Mall, then you come up on the Willis buildings, right? And I am facing that intersection of Hickman Road and what I would call 35th Street, but I think here in West Des Moines it's 100th Street. So the main showroom is where I am right now.
So there will be like a little map to walk around. There's going to be food stations and lots of new cars and lots of fun. You mentioned the Valley West, and I'm trying to think if this was the exit to it. And this is going to be a conversation about food. You want to have a little conversation about food?
Of course.
So for some reason, I must have been Googling investments lately because I've been getting a lot of, hey, do you want to invest in this? Guess what's trying to make a comeback? And help me out if this was on the Valley West Mall exit. Or it might have been, what's the one that
22nd Street exit also?
It might have been 22nd. Invest in the comeback. Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant.
Chi-Chi's.
No. Was that on? Was
Invest in the comeback.
Invest in the comeback.
It was, dude, good memory. It was on 22nd Street north of the good memory out of you, dude. Now that is a place called Cool Basil, okay?
Okay.
And then there was another place in Altoona called Cool Basil. And they had it turned out they weren't the same place, okay? So the place in Altoona had to change their name. Now my thought was they changed it to Thai Basil. They should have just named it Cooler Basil. But anyway, Chi-Chi's is making a comeback?
Yes, so they're going to start with they're trying to raise $35 million, and they're selling Class B stock at like $1.54 a share, and the minimum investment is like $249. The maximum investment is like $1.5 million.
Okay,
and
good. Then they don't have to have enough weights at the gym for me then.
Yeah, and they're like they're going to start with 2 stores in Minnesota, and I'm thinking, you know, when it comes to chain Mexican, was Chi-Chi's kind of like this? To me, that brought back a lot of memories. I don't know why, because 20, 30 years ago,
Travis,
Chi-Chi's was like it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let me just change some words for you, okay?
Okay.
Invest in the comeback. Spaghetti Works. What would you say?
Well, it's a little different for me because I have 2 Spaghetti Works in Omaha.
Okay.
And there's one in Ralston and there's one in the Old Market. That has not closed. So they're both still open. They're still packed.
Okay, let me think of another crappy restaurant that closed because they served bad food.
But did Chi-Chi's serve bad food?
Yes, that's why they closed. Why do you think they invest in the comeback? Hooters. What would you say?
I've always liked Hooters. It's funny
Dusty's
that you said
killing it. Bonanza. What if I said invest in the comeback?
Bonanza.
Ryan's Steakhouse is going to make a comeback.
Ryan's Steakhouse.
What would you say?
I would say, but like when I saw Chi-Chi's, if I saw Bonanza, I'd be like, yeah, all you can eat steak again. I'm like, maybe they can do it right this time. Maybe they learned from the errors of their ways. I follow the CEO of Stuckey's on LinkedIn. You know what Stuckey's is, right?
Stuckey's. Why does that ring a bell?
Stuckey's used to be like, you know, the gas stations along the interstate that had the sloped, curved roof. If you go down the interstate, you'll go, oh, that's an old Stuckey's. That's an old Stuckey's. That's an old Stuckey's. And she is, you know, relaunched the famous pecan roll and wants to bring the Stuckey's name back. But that's going back to the 60s and 70s with old school gas stations. Now she's got a long climb to go because you're going against Quick Star, you're going against Casey's, you're going against Quick Trip, you're going against Love's, Pilot, and soon, you know, Buc-ee's. if they get to the north, right? But it's I think we all are enamored by nostalgia. Much like when retro uniforms come out, we like it for just a little bit, then we're reminded, oh, we don't like it. But we do. There is something about the retro and the nostalgia that we are attracted to as human beings. It brings back memories.
That I agree with. The Chi-Chi's, and when you said it, Trav, I'm like, oh, that's fun. That was a fun place to go. I don't remember. Weren't they famous for like the chips and salsa or something?
I thought it was
silly?
the chimichangas. I thought it was the Chi-Chi's chimichanga. That's what I remember.
There was a place downtown that was like under a building. It was called Mr. Filet. Chris, you remember Mr. Filet? No? I wonder if people remember Mr. Filet. It was like a businessman special steakhouse. You walked in, it was almost like a soup Nazi, but the people that worked there were lovely and wonderful and super, super friendly. And a lot of people I've seen mentioned in the oh man, I can't scroll up on it. There was one right by the river for a while. Tops Steakhouse, I think it was called.
Oh yeah, I remember Tops Steakhouse.
It was tiny too. It was right on the river on University. That one was good, but Mr. Filet was, and yeah, Big Daddy's got it. George and George were the two guys. And they weren't really. It wasn't father son. You swore they were father son. They were not. Young George became a friend of mine.
Really?
Yeah. I went up to Okoboji on a weekend with young George and got to know his family really well. He became my buddy. Mr. Filet was like, you had to like go. It was almost like Cheers. You had to walk down this concrete staircase, and then you were under. It was along the sidewalk, but under the sidewalk. I can't describe it. And then there was a line out the door, and it was everybody. It'd be people in suits. Guys from Principal came down, and then it was such a quick service that you literally stood in line, ordered your food, walked down like a deli line with your little cafeteria tray, and at the end of it, you got the best little fillet of sirloin. It was amazing. Little ribeye, Texas toast, some cottage cheese, and then you
baked
sat
potato.
down. But yeah, right. You got your nail in it. And it was like 3 people working. George, his wife, and little George. Killing it.
Todd saying it was under a parking ramp?
Yeah, it was like under a parking ramp. Thank you, Todd.
You're bringing back a lot of memories for people. People remember exactly what you're talking about. We're drawn to that nostalgia. Let's use Bebop's as an example.
Yeah.
Bebop's sells really good hamburgers, some of the best hamburgers. But there is a nostalgic part of Bebop's, right? You look at it, you're like, oh, that's a 50s style hamburger joint. You don't get to go inside and sit down. You just drive through the drive-thru, order your hamburger, and off you go.
I love dude from Iowa says, and the busboy somehow was really involved. That was little George. That's my buddy. He was like the chef, the busboy. It was amazing. He was a tornado of activity.
Oh, that's good stuff. 515-517-2303. Ross is live at Willis Automotive this morning. The new car event, new car show is happening tonight. Starts at 4:45, goes until 7 o'clock. There's going to be free food, free drink, live music, and some really cool cars.
We are going to talk Monday Night Football, right?
We are.
Good. Because I just really like saying the name of Emeka Egbuka.
Say it again.
Emeka Egbuka.
One more time.
Emeka Egbuka.
You even got like the inflection and the accent.
Egbuka?
And yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
I like it. Every time it popped up on the screen last night, I say it out loud every time. I think my friends got annoyed. Like, do you say it every time you see it? I'm like, I can't see it and not say it.
Monday Night Football Talk when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on therushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
It's game time at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. We're kicking off September with hard-hitting deals. Drive the legendary Silverado 1500 with 2.9 APR for 72 months, or lease on a 2025 Silverado 1500 Turbo Max for just $349 a month. The all-new 2026 Equinox is on the field with 1.9 APR and no payments for 90 days. Need a value-packed starter? The Chevy Trax starts in the low 20,000s. And don't forget, this is your last month to get up to $7,500 in federal tax credits on eligible electric Chevy vehicles. Stop in and see us in Granger, or visit us online at willischevy.com.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Right.
Don't forget, here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our family, and provides homegrown, clean-burning, unleaded 88 for our vehicles. Pump it up with unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org for more information. Ross, some of the feedback last night on Monday Night Football is I wish the NFL would get rid of these double headers on Monday Night Football. Not one, but two games for Monday Night Football. Do you have strong feelings one way or another about two games on Monday night?
Dude, too late. I can tell you that. I don't like it. I guess I don't have strong feelings on it, but I don't like it. I can't even. It was who was the other game last night? I was Rams, right? Raiders, Chargers.
You had Raiders, Chargers,
okay.
And you had the Texans and Buccaneers.
Yeah. Texans, Buccaneers was the first one. I got Emeka Egbuka. And Tampa Bay comes away with the 2019 win. C.J. Stroud, he had an Iowa quarterback line last night. Do you have that? Do you have the box score in front of you?
I can bring it up real quick.
Here, I got it too. I'm tapping around here. He was 13 of 20. Actually, no. 13 of 24, 207 and a touchdown. We'd do backflips if a Hawkeye quarterback had 204, 207. 13 of 24, but I don't know. Didn't look great at times. And Tampa Bay comes away with a victory. But
scoring in the final seconds,
yeah.
Baker Mayfield, it kind of just shocked that Texans crowd. And then you had the Chargers improved to 2-0. They beat the Raiders last night. And Justin Herbert had a good game. He had a couple touchdown passes. Geno Smith, brutal for the Raiders. 3 picks last night. They weren't all his fault, but when you throw an interception, it goes in your stat line. When it bounces off somebody and goes into another hands, you still get credit for the pick.
Right.
The big news out of last night, out of the Raiders game, was Tom Brady was actually in the coach's booth last night. Ross, he was wearing a headset. And he wasn't participating, maybe just listening, maybe offering some advice. But Tom Brady, who, of course, is an analyst on Fox and now part owner of the Raiders, a minority owner, has been a sounding board for Pete Carroll. He's been a sounding board for the offensive coordinator. He finds himself in the booth. The NFL has relaxed some of the rules when it comes to Tom Brady. He can now participate in, pre-production meetings, he has to do it via Zoom. He's not allowed in like practice facilities and stuff. But last year, you didn't really get the blurring of lines between commentator and owner. You put somebody in a coach's booth, you put a headset on them, and now you're blurring the lines a little bit between what is, can you be a true analyst when it comes to the teams? Thoughts on him being in the booth with a headset on?
Okay, a couple questions there. Can he be an analyst while still being involved with the team in this level? I would argue that he can be a better analyst. He's got more insight. I've always think it's so silly when they come back from halftime, and this happens in every game now, in every broadcast, they've got this fourth or fifth person on the broadcast team that does this one weird thing where it's like, all right, let's go down and we'll chat with Billy. And they're like, and Billy's like, I just talked to the head coach, and he said that the team needs to try a lot harder on this next drive. It's always the dumbest stuff. It's always the most obvious.
It's low-hanging fruit.
I just talked to the offensive coordinator, and he said he's really happy with that touchdown. Back to you guys. Dude, we don't need that. We don't need that. But if we could actually have the guy that was like, I was just in the booth with the offensive coordinators. Here's how they came up with that. Here's what they saw. Wouldn't that be? I mean, and I'm just laying that out. I'm not saying, but for some reason, that's what they want to avoid happening. And I get, and so that was your first question. Can he do the job and still be this guy? I say absolutely, and I can make the argument that he can do the job better. But the second thing that you asked was interesting. What was the last thing that you asked was what?
Oh, I forget.
You phrased it in a way, Trav. Darn. I don't have my notepad. Normally I would have written that down. I'm so sorry. You phrased it in a way that I wanted to come back to get to that. About just kind of, I think it was more, I don't know. I don't remember how you phrased it at the end. I really liked it. I'm sorry that I derailed that part of it, just to go back to say I think that he can do that job and be involved in that way. But I'm not sure.
So Tom Brady, and I'm going to transition into a deeper conversation, and it happens to do with Live Golf and Tom Brady. Not that Tom Brady is going to be part of the Live Golf circuit. That's not the case. Ross, what's been the biggest knock on Live Golf? Why did people attack it right away?
Saudi money.
Saudi money. So Adam Schefter released yesterday that Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Saquon Barkley are all going to participate in the Fanatics Flag Football Classic in Saudi Arabia. And so, but there's not been pushback like we saw with Live Golf. Like, oh my God, you're taking Saudi money. You're dirty money. Your hands are now bloody. But yet you have soccer players who go play in the Saudi Soccer League because they're doing it for money. You have boxers and entertainers. UFC will participate in that in Saudi Arabia. You have now Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Saquon Barkley, others that are going to go play in a flag football classic over there. Why is the narrative different for these athletes compared to what Live Golf had to go through?
Which would you prefer? Do you think everybody, like when you say what Live Golf went through, first of all, they were disruptors, right? They were going to take the brunt of it because they were the disruptor. Which would you prefer? That when people take Saudi money, they have to bow and kiss the ring to the mob that doesn't want them to do that? Or are you okay with people making money? Because I'm okay with people. I don't care. I mean, I don't like that there's evil, and I don't like that. But if evil people are going to give their money to Saquon Barkley to go play football, well, guess what? They aren't the first ones, and I guess I don't care. I know that sounds callous in a way, but when the Yankees sign a pitcher to $1 bajillion, that's not my money. It's not my money that they're paying for this thing. So I think what we should really hope for is what we should strive for is consistency. Were you mad about Live Golf? Then you should be mad about this. If you weren't mad about Live Golf, then you shouldn't be mad about this. People are going to react both ways to it. So you can't expect there to be some sort of monolith response. Because people reacted this way to Live Golf, they're going to react this way. Maybe people reacted that way to Live Golf, and now they're like, you know what? It turned out to be not that big of a deal. I didn't, Phil Mickelson wasn't swinging, didn't have blood on his hands when he was swinging his pitching wedge. So I don't know, Trav. I think that it's interesting. I don't know how much money they're paying, but they got to be paying a lot of money to get these active dudes to come and do this.
100%, and you got to be paying a lot of money to get Tom Brady to go participate because he knows exactly what they're doing. You want my name? You want me to come over there? It's going to cost you probably several $1 million. You hit the nail on the head when you first started talking about it, in that it's not like Saudi Arabia is trying to take on the National Football League. It's not even like when they have their own soccer league. Would they get Ronaldo to go over and play for a couple seasons?
I don't even know. I didn't even know.
The fact that I know that is a little weird, but it's not like they're trying to end the Premier League. What people were mad about, and I don't really believe it was Saudi money, that was the argument that they had that would resonate with people, would create this good versus evil. They were trying to disrupt an entire sport of golf. So having a flag football tournament, that's non-threatening to what my sport is. Having a famous soccer player, it's no different than who's at Messi going to Miami. Yeah, he's at the tail end of his career. That's the MLS is never going to be the Premier League. You can do.
That's a good point. This isn't a disruptor like Live Golf was literally stealing their athletes.
Yeah,
that was it, and that's why. Man, what a great point, Trav. First of all, I didn't know that I didn't know that it wasn't mostly Saudi money. I'd heard that and just thought that was true.
For Live, it was mostly Saudi money. I mean, they fully. It's all Saudi money. There's not. But the difference is, you can go pay Tom Brady and those guys to play flag football, but nobody cares because it's flag football and it means nothing. When you take a Phil Mickelson, a John Rahm, the best golfers
off the tour, now you've disrupted my sport. Now you're trying to shake things up, and that feels dirty to me. It didn't feel dirty to me. I didn't care. I'm like, these guys just want to get paid. That's where it felt dirty.
Yeah,
that makes
sense. That's the narrative they put it out.
Yeah. I get that. We've talked about this. I've been a Live Golf supporter since the beginning. Do I think it lasts in the long term? No, but we will go back and go, much like the USFL or even the XFL, the changes that they were able to make even within the own PGA Tour. Well, you'll look back and go, if it wasn't for Live, that wouldn't have happened. We've done that with the NFL a little bit. USFL was a disruptor. The NFL made some changes. XFL came in. You're like, okay, well, people like this. Maybe we just bring it into our own. It's hard to disrupt a major sport that's established. You can never disrupt. People have tried with football. Doesn't work. People have tried with basketball. Didn't work. I don't know if anybody's ever tried with baseball, have they? It'd be hard to disrupt baseball. Boy, it's been a long, long time. I mean, at the only level, Travis, Savannah Bananas would maybe be a tiny example of baseball, but again, that's way more like this. That's way more like the flag football thing. It's not a competitor. They're not taking guys from major leagues. I don't know, Travis, that there's been, and the only other disruptor I can think of before the Savannah Bananas would have been the Portland Mavericks. Remember that team, the battered bastards of baseball, the documentary? You remember this?
I don't.
Oh, Trav, you got to watch this one, dude. There's so much about this that you would love. And it is, first of all, starting with the main character, man. It's, come on, Ross. Kurt Russell's dad. Bing Russell.
Okay.
He was in Gunsmoke, okay? And then when he got out of Hollywood, he loved baseball. And, Kurt Russell was a really good baseball player. And so his dad bought an independent baseball team in Portland, Oregon, and turned it into this team called the Portland Mavericks. It's a fascinating documentary about an independent baseball team that didn't follow any rules. Kind of like a Bill Veeck type of promotional mind and tilt, but really, really cool. The Battered Bastards of Baseball is the name of the documentary.
Is that on Netflix?
I'm pretty sure that's on Netflix still. Yeah, that's a good one. But that would be the last time. Again, that in those independent leagues can't compete with Major League Baseball. They don't steal Major League Baseball talent. They're grabbing up the scraps like the Savannah Bananas. You got to be able to do backflips and walk on stilts to be a Savannah Banana. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, you have to be an entertainer to be.
Yeah.
You got to be a good baseball player, but you also have to be an entertainer to be a Savannah Banana. So, yeah, I mean, dude from Iowa says, they called it sports washing to pay him a lot of money to try to get people to forget about the bad thing you did. I don't think sports washing works. I know where the money's coming from, and I know the bad things they did, but people we like to think we do the right thing. Somebody throws a lot of money in front of you, you're going to take the money. That's human nature. You go, well, I can look past some things for millions of dollars.
I was just saying, there's a note that says, Scooter says, go, Pack, go.
Go, Pack, go.
Breaking news. I've been handed a note. Trav, here's the other shitty thing to say right now. Good is a perspective. Like when you say take money from the good guys or take money from you know who thinks they're the good guy? Everyone.
The winner.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks I was on the right side. I was fighting for the right thing. Why won't they take my money? I'm just doing the right thing. Those evil people, not only do they not agree with me, now they say that I'm the bad guy. That's...
Well, and we could use the NBA as an example with China, right? No, I mean...
Right.
That's a perfect example. Is like when somebody criticized China and he gets disciplined by the NBA, like, hey, they're a huge... That's a huge market for us. We make a lot of money over there. You don't say anything.
Perfect example of it, Trav.
Yeah. We're willing to look past some things and willing to condemn others.
But I would say
we should just condemn bad. Bad is bad. We should just condemn
bad. Bad is bad. And again, it's also outside of rare exceptions, it's a perspective. There's good, there's good, there's evil. The crappy thing is when you realize everybody thinks they're on the same side of that equation.
Coming up at 7 o'clock, we're going to be joined by Dr. Paul Butler from DMOS Orthopaedic Centers. He is a foot and ankle specialist, and Dr. Jason Sullivan tells me, Ross, he's like when it comes to feet and ankles, there's nobody better. And, of course, there's a lot of feet and ankles in the news right now. You've got Brock Purdy with turf toe. You've got Joe Burrow with turf toe. I want to know exactly what turf toe is. It's been explained to me, and I still don't know what turf toe is. And then I don't know if you saw that J.J. McCarthy has a high ankle sprain. He's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks now for the Vikings. So J.J. McCarthy, 2 starts in the NFL, missed all of last season with an injury, gets his second start this weekend, and he's out another 2 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. So we'll have a deep injury conversation with Dr. Paul Butler from DMOS Orthopaedic Centers.
Do you think he's listening already?
He might be. Why? Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
Like every time I'm at the dentist, I have that. Okay. Like the whole time I'm laying there and they're in my. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I could not do this job. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be a surgeon. I couldn't cut the blood. I couldn't be a phlebotomist, the person that sticks people with the needle. I couldn't do any. I literally, it gives me the squeamies to think about it. And when you said, Dr. Sullivan says he's the foot guy. This guy, he loves feet. He gets in there and he fixes the feet. I don't want that job. I don't want that job. If I knew he weren't listening yet, I would ask you, a different question.
I want to ask him, when did you decide feet was your thing?
Yeah,
right?
that's the right way to phrase it. Thank you. When did you decide feet was your thing? Yeah, was it? I mean, how'd that happen? That's a great question.
Because all these doctors specialize, right? Dr. Sullivan's like the knee guy. Then you have a shoulder guy. You have an elbow guy. You have a head and neck guy. Then you have a feet guy.
How does that happen? That's a great question.
I know it. And Tyler's like, it's your specialty. I get that, but you can specialize.
That's what I'm saying. That's what my question, Tyler, is how did that specialty come about? How did it come to be?
Well, one of my good friends is Dr. Rob Zadiska, former New York Giant, former Nebraska Cornhusker. We host a podcast together. And I did ask her, you're a smart guy. When did you say you wanted to be an anesthesiologist? I go, you were smart enough to be a surgeon. You could have been when did you say, I want to be an anesthesiologist? I got a God complex. I'm like, okay.
I was just going to say that. I feel like maybe you told me that story already one time because I was going to finish that with, I wonder if he's got a God complex.
Yes, I think there is a bit of a God complex there. At least he's aware enough to say it, right?
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
And maybe you want somebody who's an anesthesiologist to have the God complex because it's their motivation to keep you alive. I don't know.
Man, I'm struggling with the actors' names today. Alec Baldwin, his speech in the movie Malice. You wonder if I have a God complex? I am God.
Oh, man. We talked a little bit about the Bud Crawford-Canelo Alvarez fight yesterday. Netflix reported yesterday, Ross, that 41 million people watched the fight on Saturday night. That is the most watched fight for a championship this century. Now, and the numbers were incredible. 41 million people, the most viewed championship fight of the century. The gate at Allegiant Stadium did $47 million. You've had big concerts. You've had NFL games. That's the biggest gate at Allegiant Stadium, $47 million.
What? Just ticket sales?
Yes, $47 million.
What's that make the average ticket price?
Well,
how many people were there?
Probably, 68,000 probably? Maybe more because it was set up for boxing. Just do 70,000 as a round number.
48 million divided by 70,000.
47 million. You added a million to that.
Oh. Divided by 70,000. Did I really? How about that? Let's see, because I still got to get my.
Does your
That's an average price is $671. That doesn't seem too crazy to me now.
No, unless you're in the nosebleeds.
The average price. So you're going to have $200 tickets. You're going to have $1,000 tickets, and way above that too. Damn, dude. Well, got to pay Canelo Alvarez somehow, right? Got to give him $100 million to come take the L.
Are you ready for this? This is what shocked me because it was an exhibition fight. How many people do you think watched Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on Netflix?
I have no idea.
So Alvarez and Crawford, a real fight, a championship fight for an undisputed championship, drew 41 million people on Netflix. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, which was an exhibition, a sideshow, a publicity stunt, 108 million people.
Yeah. Yep.
And like you said yesterday, there's a reason Jake Paul, he's been the disruptor in boxing. Whether you like it or not, he's brought a completely...
That's a great way to put it. He's the live golf of boxing.
He really is.
Yeah. See, Trav, it's funny because you say all those things in kind of a pointed way about the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, and I completely agree with you. That was an exhibition. But so was this Crawford-Canelo fight. It also was not for a title. Bud Crawford got to walk out of there with the belts, and then he had to hand them back to Canelo. I don't think it was as set up as the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, and obviously not as one-sided. You know, I didn't have to watch one of my childhood heroes waddle to the ring. But In a way, it's all, I don't know, boxing's just so weird now, man. So weird. I do blame Jake Paul for it, but like I said last week, he's not the symptom, or he's not the cause. He's just a symptom of it. The cause was the promoters dividing everything up. We've had this conversation so much about boxing. So 41 million is a great number. Compare that to if an entertainer boxes, 108 million people watch it.
And one fight means something, one doesn't. But it was good to see the numbers, and 41 million, man. Kind of like the number of people that watch this show every day and listen to this show every day.
In the millions.
In the millions. In the millions.
Johnny's right, man. Johnny says, I miss the Tyson heydays.
Because you miss the, I got to watch this because you don't know what's going to happen. And meaning not, how fast is he going to knock him out?
Can't blink. Everybody, you're yelling from the living room. Get in here. It's about to start. He's staring down Peter McNeely. You got to get in here.
And what you miss about the Tyson heydays is that you knew he was going to come out like a bull in a china shop, and he was going to try to knock. I mean, the fury started right away. Now it's a chess match. It's strategy, and
I think that's part of what the middleweight thing. Watching the Crawford Alvarez fight, you're not worried about that knockout. You're at no point are you like, oh, one of these guys is going to knock the other one to sleep here pretty soon. And maybe that's a part of the allure of UFC, Trav, that we talked about yesterday. That even when a guy is losing a fight in the UFC, every now and again, a dude's going to connect. Every now and again, he's going to get hurt, but he's going to submit the guy. You know?
Houston Alexander. That's a name some people will know, but he got his one shot in the UFC. He landed the one punch, and he wasn't supposed to win, but he's like, boom, connected, and you're like, who's this guy? Now, didn't do much after that, but you win that one fight. 515-517-2303. When we come back, Dr. Paul Butler is scheduled to join us from DMOS Orthopaedic Centers. Ross is live at Willis Automotive, and the new car show is coming up tonight. You got a lot of cars in the showroom?
No, actually, dude, there's one car in this showroom right now. Now they've got a big tent set up outside. Again, so I imagine, Trav, they've got all of this cleared out so they can bring in those brand new cars.
Oh yeah.
So I don't exactly know what their plan is here. They got a plan, I can tell you that. But no, only one Lexus is in the Lexus showroom right now, and it actually has a sold sticker hanging from the mirror.
Sorry, can't buy this one, but we can order you one. Dr. Paul Butler joining us next on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini of Des Moines, and right now we have some exciting things to talk about. We have our last Countryman SE. We are leasing that as low as $399 a month with $3,800 down. On top of that, we are doing 1.99 for 48 months on all new 2025 Countrymans. For more information, come visit your favorite Mini motoring advisor or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the RushRadio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make. Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the champagne of bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hi, my name is John Linares with Willis Lexus, and September is one of my favorite months. I would like to personally invite you to our Willis Automotive new car show on Tuesday, September 16th from 4:45 until 7:30 p.m. It'll be a fun night with friends, food, and beverages. Leading up to the car show, we've specially priced our vehicles for our new car show, and Lexus is supporting us with great low lease rates. For example, a $449 lease rate with $49.99 due at signing on ES. Stop on out or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Tuesday. If you're listening on the rushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, start leaving your comments in the comment section, and of course, follow us on our social media channels. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson.
Back at the podium to answer more questions is Ross Peterson.
Yes, and we'll have lots of questions for you coming up. You know, we like to think we're smart, right? I mean, we think we're smart. We're really not. But where we're smart is we bring smart people on with us, right?
Inquisitive idiots. That's what I like to say.
That's exactly right. Making his first appearance on the Rush Radio Show from the DMOS Orthopaedic Centers, Dr. Paul Butler. Are you prepared for this, Doc? Or did Dr. Sullivan say, hey, be ready for anything?
Oh, man. I don't think there's anything that can be done to prepare for this.
All right, we're going to start off with the hard-hitting questions. Before we get into what we're really bringing you on for is some injuries in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Ross, were you watching before? Were you listening or watching before you came on?
I was not.
Okay, so we were just wondering. You go through medical school. You're a smart dude. At what point in your residency or you got to make a decision did you say, feet are my thing? When did you decide feet were your thing?
Yeah, that's a common question, right? It's like, why in the world would this be the end point when you go through all of that training, for goodness sakes? I think it comes down to kind of why I'm here this morning, where it's like, there's a lot of moving parts. It's pretty complicated. It's challenging. That's what got me into it. And, but yeah, it's a common thing of like, yeah, smelly feet. Great. Let's go do that every day.
Yeah, that was my first thought. You're in a way you're kind of like a dentist to me. Now, but seriously, at what point in your training was this something that you're in school? It seems like you just got fascinated by all of those moving parts. Was it something that very early on you knew you wanted this to be a specialty?
I think the cool thing just from a foot and ankle perspective is that you just deal with kind of all facets of the general population. So we could have these conversations this morning about, the athletes that are out on the field and, athletes in my clinic I get to talk to every day. But then it's also, grandma and grandpa playing with their grandkids and, young kids playing, soccer and baseball and everything top to bottom. And so I think the big thing was just being able to meet a lot of different people and just deal with different conditions day in, day out. And it's not just kind of sidelined to one particular topic all day, every day.
We have a lot more stupid questions for you, but let's get to the real reasons why we brought him in, Trav, and that's to ask some even dumber questions like, what is turf toe?
It's a bad injury. That's, I think, the number one summary of it is it seems so simplistic. It's a sprain of the big toe joint. So kind of right at that base of the toe, where you feel kind of like some people call it like the knuckle of the big toe. And so right there where you push off, it's just that every time you take a step, that joint gets stressed. And so it's just like if you sprain an ankle, what a sprain is it's a partial tear of the ligaments around that joint. And just the darn thing is that when you're talking about a turf toe, it's just you can't do anything, especially on an athletic field, without cranking through that big toe. And so if it has any soreness, it's just you lose your speed, you lose your agility. And the thing is like, okay, if you can play through the pain, the problem is if you're not as quick, you're just a sitting duck for your next injury and somebody's going to tee off on you. And so that's as big of an issue. If you think back to the Super Bowl that Mahomes played against the Bucks, where he was just slow and he wasn't able to play as well as what he potentially could have, it's because he was dealing with a turf toe. And so it's readily apparent when you watch people on the field upon how much of an impact it is.
Well, because Brock Purdy has turf toe, and we didn't see that one coming. He's out 2 to 4 weeks. Joe Burrow, we understand, is probably going to have surgery. So obviously varying degrees of turf toe. And so let's look at Brock Purdy. He only has to sit out 2 to 4. Joe Burrow could be out 3 months. Is there that wide of a range in the severity of a turf toe injury?
Yeah. And so anytime that we're talking about a sprain, the big thing comes down to just how much of the ligament is damaged. And so it's just like if, you step off a curb or playing pickup basketball with your buddies, you sprain it, swells up like a balloon the next day, but maybe 3, 5, 7 days later, it's like, oh, okay, this isn't too bad. I can go back out and play. And then there's the other sprains where you roll it and then it's like, oh man, I've been on crutches for a month. And so it's the same type idea, is just it's the amount of the ligament that's involved that kind of dictates how much time we have to give it to recover. And it's just the big picture thing with turf toes is that even, I know Purdy's got some other issues, I think, with his shoulder that he's dealing with, is that it's just they're slow. And so my guess would be, not knowing his MRI status, et cetera, is that his is just on the minor side. But the thing that I tell patients every single time they come in is turf toes are slow. You have to be patient with them. You have to protect, just because you need to be able to crank through the front portion of your foot, especially your big toe, to just be able to be athletic.
The problem with feet is this. Hear me out. Is that, when somebody says, God, you tore an ACL or an MCL, you know exactly what it's painted. You hear words like turf toe, and you're like, really? Or you hear plantar fasciitis, and you're like, what is that? It's hard to explain. I think you need to come up with new names for turf toe to like really send the message of what it's like for somebody to get turf toe. What else could we call turf toe? Because I think people hear it and go, what's turf toe?
Yeah, you can literally just call it a toe that's a pain in the rear, because man, they are just stubborn as all get out. And it's like, oh yeah, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And then it's just something. It's like, I think there's some good literature out there that says that for chronic turf toes that guys deal with year after year, 50% of NFL guys retire.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's because you just can't do anything. And even with, the announcements with Burrow, they say, yeah, he'll be back at 3 months. From a statistical perspective, I hope that he recovers quickly, for goodness sakes. But the probability that he's back at 3 months, I think, is still a large question mark, because that would be pretty darn quick for somebody to rehab from a surgical reconstruction.
It seems, and maybe tell me when I'm wrong here, because I'm gonna be. It seems to me like bigger guys deal with more lingering foot and ankle injuries from what I remember in my lifetime. Big guys hurt their feet or ankle. It just seems like they're putting so much more weight on it. It's harder for those guys to recover. But all these guys we're talking, Brock Purdy doesn't fit into that. Joe Burrow's a big guy, but he's not, 280 pounds, 300-pound guy. Is turf toe just something, does weight at all, okay, several questions here that I just came up with. Does weight at all impact that foot and ankle injury recovery? And is turf toe in any way, it seems like it's these smaller guys that deal with turf toe. Is there weight-related issues with turf toe?
Yeah, so I think kind of the thing with it is, even when you're talking about these quarterbacks who aren't 330-pound linemen, is that even if they're doing a 5 or a 7-step drop, they're still cranking through the ball of their foot when they're pushing off, and they need to be able to take just a couple steps, even if they're a truly pocket quarterback like these guys are in the grand scheme of things, is that it's just the requirement that is going to be their limiting factor, regardless of their size. And relatively, compared to us, those guys are massive.
Yeah, right. Very good point. Right.
Those guys are still, 240 and just specimens, when just lay people like us. But with that being said, yeah, it comes down to it with the bigger guys, and the chronicity of their issues that they're dealing with is just they just have more force that goes through that foot.
Yeah.
And if you got, like, example, if you got that offensive lineman that's locked up with a D lineman, like that's not 300 pounds of force on that foot. You're doubling down on
That's
that.
a good point, too.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just crazy the demands that these guys are putting themselves through just on a daily basis. And so when we talk about something as simple as, hey, it's a turf toe, shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's like it just shows how crazy the strength that these guys exude all day.
So Tyler Kluver, former Iowa Hawkeye long snapper, just texted. He goes, "Hey, I got a very mild case of turf toe when he did the pro day." He goes, "I'd put on 30 pounds going through the drills." He said it was horrible. He goes, "Mine was mild," and he said it was horrible.
Oh, and that's a tough dude.
A lot of people are going to be wondering about Brock Purdy because of the local connection, and you look at Joe Burrow, who's out. My question is, because you brought up the retirement stat, once you get turf toe, are you prone to more turf toe?
Yeah.
Depends upon kind of the severity and the location. There's things that you can do to try to protect against that. It's just that anytime your body heals, you're healing with scar tissue. Scar tissue isn't the same tissue you had when you were born. And so it's just that tissue in each person is a little bit different. There's some folks where their scar tissue could care less and it functions very similarly to how you were designed when you were born. But there's other folks where their scar tissue is just annoying, whether that's from an injury, whether that's from surgery. And it's just a little bit more sensitive, which then causes that chronic irritation. And then some people's scar tissue when it heals in is just not quite to the strength of what it was previous. And I think kind of the comment made earlier too is that if you're just a little sore, you're potentially not quite as quick. And then you just have that increased risk in the future. But there's stuff you can do to protect it. You know, you can try to wear a stiffer shoe. There's a carbon fiber plate that you can put underneath the liner. But it's just, the problem is that with these higher level guys, especially when you're up on the ball of your foot, it just makes your shoe stiff.
Yeah.
And so it just feels weird. And so sometimes the linemen that we work with can tolerate a little bit better, or a linebacker, just because they're not up on the ball they're not up on their toes. Not saying they're not athletes, for goodness sakes, but it's just kind of the position of their foot is a little
sense.
different when they're playing.
They're not rolling and changing direction as often. They're kind of more. Yeah, I think everybody gets that. So what is the treatment then? So obviously Joe Burrow's getting the surgery. Brock Purdy's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Is he going to be doing? Is it pain management? Is it inflammation? Is there like a topical ointment? What do they do for him?
It's protection and inflammation management. And so it's some basic range of motion, inflammation management, kind of the simplistic stuff that everybody knows about, just ice elevation. You can do oral topical anti-inflammatories. What I kind of tell people with these things is just to throw the kitchen sink at it and see what your body responds to, because everybody's a little bit different. And so one person may swear by ibuprofen, for instance, and somebody else says that doesn't do darn for me, but I love Tylenol. And it's like, okay, perfect. Do whatever works best for you. But it's like, go try it and do all those different things. But it really comes down to protection, so you're not overstressing that scar as it's healing. And it's just a matter of, hey, when can we actually get it done, so you can go through your progression protocols to be safe on your return. And until you can load that thing and be quick and protect yourself, then the answer is you're not going back out on the field. And literally the first thing that I tell folks with turf toe when they come in, it's like, okay, we got to be patient, because this is going to be slow, and it is at times difficult to predict what person falls into what bucket. You can kind of say, okay, this is going to be one that's 3-4 months, or hey, this is one that's going to be maybe a month, 6 weeks. But are you going to be quick on that 6 weeks? Are you going to be slow on that 6 weeks, plus minus? That's super tough to predict.
So is there a sport, because turf toe seems to come up in football a lot, is there a sport that you see has more turf toe cases than another?
Yeah, I see it a lot in football. We also see it in soccer. And the reason is what it is, it's when your foot gets planted, and whether it's how you load the foot or somebody falls on your foot. And so your toe gets pushed up into extension. And so you just get loaded through the front of your foot. And some people, even to get a turf toe, they even essentially dislocate their toe, and then it reduces back in. And so you're basically cranking that toe back as far as it'll go. And so it is turf toe, because just by how the cleat bites on the grass is what leads to it. They've done a lot of stuff. Like there's some cool biomechanical data, nerdy stuff that you were referencing earlier, is where they've actually figured out ways to design cleats to give way in the new turf. And so they figured out how strong is an ACL, how strong are the ligaments in your big toe. And they figured out to make they were actually making cleats too good. And so what was happening is that you'd get that extra bite, and then our ligaments would fail. And they've learned, hey, our ligaments fail at this point. Let's make our cleats worse. And so then actually the shoe gives before that critical point. Like when you throw
Wow.
600 pounds at a guy on your back, there's huge variables in play, for goodness sakes. But yeah, they've actually like tried to counterbalance this, especially in turf sports, to stay out in front of it. But junk still happens, for goodness sakes, and you can't protect against everything.
The advancement in turf technology, has that have you seen an increase in turf toe with the what's the
And so the idea would be less, because of kind of that idea is that
Okay.
it's not as grippy as
Yeah.
what it used to be. Like they used to have a lot more bite in the old turf from like the 80s, and that's when they were really seeing it bad.
Is that how
But
it
I
came
think,
up with the name, by the way, Doc?
yeah,
Okay.
that's where it came from. And so, the idea, I think some of its stuff is the true incident rate. Has it gone down? If you've got the good turf, you've got the appropriate shoes. In theory, they're saying turf-related turf toe because of the give of the cleat. But the problem is like we've got more people playing. We've got people playing that, potentially at higher speeds, higher strengths, just with our training regimens that are out there. And so it's just we've got multiple multiplier effects with these other factors that are contributing. But definitely the turf changes that we've seen, and even at our like local high schools by getting new turf in, a lot of that's carrying that same technology. Luckily enough to protect our young people.
You know what they call it back in the 50s and 60s? Because turf toe seems like a term that's been around for like 25 years. Maybe it's longer
Sprained
than that.
toe?
Yeah, as I say, or they just say be quiet and get back out on the field.
That's fair.
You see those guys with the leather helmets, and they're just, it's just like they've got a bone sticking out of their arm, and they're like, "Too bad,
Yeah.
buddy. Put a bandage on it and go back out there."
You said your toe hurts? Billy just got back
Yeah.
from the Civil War. Get out
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, man. Going back to Brock Purdy, if he comes back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, is this something you can recover 100% from, taking 2 weeks off and then play the rest? Can you come back 100%, or is it always going to be like a 90%, 80% throughout the season?
Yeah, I think through the season, the probability that whether he said it or not, it's going to probably be annoying for him the rest of the season, most commonly, especially if they're saying this is potentially part of the reason why he's out. These things they need a rest. And that's the toughest thing. And so when we look at kind of our rehab protocols and when we get people back, it's like, okay, if we're going to get you back in the same season, the whole goal is to what do we got to do to get you to the end of the season? Because these things just need to rest. And that's the thing, is it's a time game more than anything else. But if you get somebody to the off season to where they can actually stay off of it, they can give that scar tissue the chance to mature. We've got a chance to be able to come back and be like, hey, no, my toes, generally good. The amount of aches and pains these NFL guys play through on a daily basis, even when they're in top shape, is pretty remarkable. But I think long term, if his is a low grade, it shouldn't be a huge issue for him long term.
So let's have a little bit of fun here. Switching gears back to let's go to the office at DMOS, and that is you all you specialists get around over a glass of bourbon. Do feet guys make fun of ankle and shoulder guys? Do they make fun of you? Do you say you had an ACL?
Oh, that's a good point. There's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy.
What's the hierarchy in the office?
And so if you talk to Dr. Sullivan, he knows that he's at the top.
That makes sense.
You guys
Okay.
know him well. So, but no, with that, I think it all comes down to is that, yeah, there's definitely poking, definitely making fun of the feet guys for what they're doing. They're like, hey, the knee doesn't smell as bad, or they say, the foot's
Wow.
a stinky hand, just because a lot of the general bony anatomy is pretty similar. But when it all comes down to it, if, somebody gets hurt, they're still calling us. And so you can always pull out the trump card and be like, oh yeah, what were you saying the other day? And they're like, oh no, nothing. You're good.
Less blood or more blood in the feet and ankle? When you cut it open?
Less in surgery, just because we use tourniquets a lot, and so just from a visualization perspective, you need to be able to see all the small stuff.
All right, I can handle that then.
But as you can imagine, from an injury perspective, people breaking bones and having bones stick out down around the feet and ankle, unfortunately, happens quite a bit.
And isn't the foot kind of a catch-all? Like I've had nerve. I've heard a nerve in my back, and the pain was in my foot. So do you often get? I mean, I'm assuming people don't get to you when that's the case, but you get phone calls from friends and family that say my foot hurts, and you find out it's not even their foot.
Well, yeah, and a lot of stuff too is that everything's interrelated. Kind of as you were referencing, it's like you got the nerves that run down from your back, and it's just that everything compensates for everything. And so when one thing hurts, if your hip hurts, you walk differently, and then you strike your foot differently, and then you come in and you're like, "Dang, my Achilles is sore today." In the grand scheme of things, there's nothing wrong with your Achilles. It's, hey, go get your hip fixed, and then you'll walk more normally, and then your ankle's going to get better on its own. And so we got those conversations all the time, and sometimes it is just trying to sift through of, hey, what is our real problem on the table? Or it's, yeah, you actually have multiple problems, and let's get them picked off one at a time.
All right, Travis, you always ask the roofer what shingles he has on his roof, okay?
Okay.
Doc, what shoes do you wear?
So, as you can imagine, I wear a lot of different shoes. Today, I'm rocking some Echoes.
Okay.
But I wear a lot of different shoes, and what I tell people a lot is it doesn't have to be one brand or style. Everybody's foot's a little bit different for just the shape of it, and so find what is aesthetically pleasing, fits your foot, but just a stable shoe, a shoe that doesn't bend into us like a flip flop. And if you do that, you got a good running start with things.
All right, so we're gonna get personal now. Doc's from Sioux City, Ross. He's from Sioux City.
Ooh, that's why he likes stinky things. That's it.
Yeah.
It's
and that's
was
where
born
I'm
around
going with this. Is Sioux City like you can pick on it, but like when Ross drops something like that, you're going to defend it? Is it like a family member? Hey, only I can pick on Sioux City, but if you do it, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, and say, there's a soft spot for Sioux City. I think when you're not growing up there, you're from around there, people are just like, yeah, throwing shame. But no, there's some definite pride for the Sioux Cityites that are out there, and when you see somebody in the hallway that's from there, you know it because you'll stand together when it comes due.
Yeah, I noticed his phone number yesterday had a 712 area code. I go, oh, you're a Western Iowa kid. And I told him I was from Minden. He goes, oh, I'm from Sioux City. I go, tell me you went to Heelan. And he didn't like that question.
Well, then that means he didn't.
Yeah, he did go to
yeah, good North kid.
Good stuff.
That's nice. Doc, thanks so much for giving us time, man. This was fun. If we have foot ankle questions in the future, we're going to reach out if that's okay.
Yeah, sounds great.
Thank you so much.
Because like Dr. Sullivan has said, Tuesdays are his days, right? And so, is there a day that's good for you so we just know, so we can plan ahead? And how much advance notice do you need if we gotta,
Tuesdays work. Yeah, I'm in clinic that day, so sometimes on surgery days it gets a little crazy. But yeah, no, we can carve out some time if needed.
Excellent.
Thanks so much.
Doc, appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Take care,
Dr. Butler.
Dr.
Paul Butler from DMOS Orthopaedic Centers. Those guys.
They're fun.
They are
that's
a lot
fun
of fun.
group.
I think that's half the battle, right? Because you hate going to a doctor that's like stuffy and doesn't have a personality. Both Dr. Butler and Dr. Sullivan are like, they're great. You're like, I want to have a bourbon with you.
Fun conversation.
So Ross, you're getting ready to do a Camino in Ireland. Does that, I hope you don't get turf toe as you're walking over rocks and.
Yeah, the foot issues that I had were just some pain from a nerve issue in my back, like I talked about. And I've always, knock on wood, been pretty lucky with avoiding any foot injuries. Never had any severe ankle sprains. Have you ever? You were a quarterback in high school, Travis, and I get the impression.
I attempted to be a quarterback in high school.
You were the starting quarterback your senior year.
I was.
Okay,
but I wasn't very.
But did you ever? You took some hits, I'm imagining.
Yeah, knock on wood, I have never, and this blows my wife away still, I never have aches and pains. I've never broken a bone. I've never had a severe sprain.
He's unbreakable.
No, I'm not unbreakable. Basically, when it comes down to, I take more preventative measures like run and hide.
I avoided hits, he says.
Yes. Oh, lineman come and throw it. If I throw an interception, I don't care. I'm not going to get hit. I don't like. This is where I try to avoid dangerous situations. I'm very careful when it comes to that. Not saying that I couldn't do it, but I've never had.
So you didn't have any? Neither have I.
No.
Never any major foot issues at all.
I was in like an old guy basketball league back in my late 20s because I wanted to play against old guys. And
wait a minute. You were in your late 20s?
Yeah, it was open to everybody. But I'm like,
wanted to play against old guys.
Well, I thought I would look better.
I was moderately athletic at 29, so I decided if I could really find some out of shape old dudes, I might look decent.
But I watched, a 50-year-old blow his Achilles, and I'm like, oh, I never went back and played because it's like that can happen. The older you get,
the Achilles.
I watch all these people playing pickleball, and as much as fun as it looks, I'll go out on a court and just kind of hit a ball around. Like, you want to play? No, not really. Not really.
Did you see Kirk? I'm a distance away from my computer, but these glasses just ain't for the ladies, okay? My woohoo is that Dr. Butler operated on me twice, and I'm doing well.
See? Twice? Man, you got a messed up foot. I wonder if that was from, or feet, or was it the same foot? We don't know.
I love it. The doctor's like, yeah, you just work with a stinky hand. That's a good line.
Charlie says, how did you keep your toupee on, playing basketball? Gotta let you know, Charlie, the toupee had some really, really good glue tape. And I slept with that toupee. I showered with that toupee. And it never, ever came off. Towards the end of the 3-week period, because you go get it changed every 3 weeks, they'd start coming up on the edges. But you could just press it down, make it stick a little harder.
Did it hurt when they peeled it off?
No. Because they sprayed like this solution on there that like dissolved the glue. And they took it off from the back. Took it in the back room. Kind of freshened it up. Gave it a little dye job. Because, it gets weathered. The sun will fade the hair a little bit. It was real human hair.
It was real human hair that fades in the sun because it's no longer attached to because it's no longer live.
Even your own hair will fade in the sun.
Well, then why wouldn't you want the toupee to fade with the hair around it?
It might have faded a little bit faster, maybe because it wasn't attached to those other follicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess who's walking in the door right now?
Who's that?
Raleigh Reuben King.
Is that right?
Yeah. Raleigh works out here. Hi, buddy.
I did not know that. It's good to hear a good.
I
awesome.
turned the corner the other day, and he was sitting. Turned the corner to go find which door I was supposed to walk in this morning at 5 a.m., and Raleigh was sitting there. Got a big hug from him. Raleigh was our chief engineer at the radio station Raleigh worked there for 40 years. But yeah, Friday afternoon.
Tell me he's got one of those cool jobs like a shuttle car driver.
That's exactly what he does.
That's what I'm looking forward to in retirement. I am looking forward to being a shuttle car driver.
I think he does like, when somebody in Omaha like this Lexus that's here right now with the sold sticker on it. Somebody in Omaha might have bought this car, right?
Yeah.
And they say, we want it delivered today. I think that's what Raleigh does, is that he and another guy, he drives this one, another guy drives, and they drive to Omaha and back. And that's what he...
That's my ideal retirement job. That would be the bomb to me.
Let me tell you a crazy Raleigh story quickly, okay? Because we're getting ready to go to break, right?
Yeah, but we got time. We can break whenever we want.
This is good, so follow me here. Raleigh's sister-in-law was my sister's college roommate, right? We didn't put that together for many years. Raleigh's sister-in-law.
Okay.
So Raleigh's wife, Joy, her sister, Allie, was my sister Marcy's college roommate all through college and UNI. They were best friends, okay? We did not put that connection together until we worked together for many years. And then several years after we made that connection, Raleigh found a letter that his mom had written to him saying, hey, we had a wonderful weekend, hung out with Allie's friend Marcy, met her little brother Ross. He really wants to have a job like Raleigh someday working in radio.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, what a small world.
The universe has a way, dude. It's got a way.
Because people say that's just coincidence. That's the universe, right? That's energy. Yeah. I'm getting all mystic now. I'm going to go do some yoga.
I will never forget making those connections, dude. I'll never forget because I worked with Raleigh and I loved him. I just idolized this guy. He's a brilliant man. and really good dad and husband and loves his wife. And I just was like, this guy's the real deal, man. And then one day I mentioned him to my sister. I said, man, I got this guy at work. He's a really great guy. His name's Raleigh Reuben King. Well, guess how many Raleigh Reuben Kings there are in the world? Not many. Yeah, right.
One.
She's like, wait, what? Like, yeah. And she's like, wait, that's right. He is the engineer there at WHO. I forgot about this connection. Yeah.
That's a great story. That was worth the 2 minutes you gave it.
I appreciate that.
515-517-2303. We'll take a break, come back, talk about Rutgers in Iowa, and a game time set for the Indiana game as well. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
At Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, we know that the only way to do business is the fair way. That means honest quotes, no surprises, and work that speaks for itself. From the first sketch to the final sweep, we keep you in the loop because communication builds trust, and trust builds beautiful spaces. Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, fair, skilled, thorough. Just the way it should be.
The wait is over. The end of summer closeout on 2025 models is here. The most popular 2025 Nissans are priced to move, and we've got something for everyone. From the economical Nissan Kicks to the family favorite Pathfinder or the rugged Frontier, your perfect match is here. Get incredible savings, low financing, and limited time offers before the year ends. But don't wait. Once they're gone, they're gone. Stop into our showroom or visit us online at willisnissan.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Want to go to a Hawkeye football game? Want to go to a Cyclone football game? Well, you need to partake in the Iowa Lottery Rush Radio Weekly Woo-Hoo. Every week we give a prize pack away worth $90. It includes Scratch Match and Win tickets, Jurassic World tickets, Iowa Blackout Scratch tickets, and Mega Millions free play coupons. Those free play coupons could be your ticket to a Cyclone game, to the Arizona State game, a VIP suite experience with food, beverages, parking pass, athlete meet and greet, merchandise, and spending money. You got to enter eligible Mega Millions tickets into the VIP club before 10 a.m. on October 20th. Or the Hawkeye Blackout promotion. Enter those non-winning Blackout scratch tickets for your choice of a Hawkeye football game day experience. Also, stadium seats, VIP tickets, exclusive Iowa Lottery Ironman suite for the Penn State game, complete with food, beverage, and Hawkeye merchandise. So, or you can win a pregame experience for the sold-out Minnesota game with on-the-field access and a tour of the radio booth with Gary Dolphin and Pat Anger. Enter before 10 a.m. on October 1st if you want to win these game experiences. So you can win even if you lose.
I mean, nobody likes to lose, but if you win by losing.
Yeah.
Everybody likes being a winner. And if you have to lose to be a winner, that's Abraham Lincoln stuff.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's Rutgers stuff. That's Greg Schiano's stuff.
Greg Schiano. Greg Schiano has been back at Rutgers since 2020. He's never had a winning record in the Big Ten since his return. His best record, he's done it twice, has been the last, 2 seasons or 2 out of 3 years has gone 7-6. Ross, I don't want to sound hyperbolic here in hyperbole, but is Saturday's game against Iowa almost a defining moment for Greg Schiano in his return to Rutgers?
Dude, listen, I'm blown away that he's been there since 2020. Blown away. I thought this was year 2 or 3 of him being back there. God, time's been weird since COVID, hasn't it? It's just weird,
COVID messed
man.
us up for a couple of years. There's no doubt about that.
I swear, I really did. I thought this was year 3 of Greg Schiano being back at Rutgers. It's year 5. That's wild. And I'll be honest, I guess I thought because of that, my time frame being off there, I thought he'd had more success than he had. I thought he had more success in this return than he has, apparently.
He hasn't.
Last 2 years, 7-6, and no winning records in the Big Ten, you said.
No winning record in the Big Ten.
They're 3-0 right now. They've played well. Are they? Oh boy, you've spent a lot. I'm going to have to defer to you. I just don't know. I don't know enough about Greg Schiano's current position there because again, I'm off on the time frame. I'm off on what success level he's been having.
You know, he brought it up yesterday at his news conference because they were talking about, Iowa being a developmental program. He said that Rutgers is a developmental program, and he goes, who knows where we would have been if I wouldn't have left. Meaning that if he would have stayed as the head coach at Rutgers, would they still be a developmental program, or would they have been a program that just is in the upper echelon? I don't think they would have been in the upper echelon, and I don't blame him for leaving at the time. Rutgers, they weren't in the Big Ten Conference at the time, and the NFL comes calling, and there's that challenge there. It's completely different now. You're kind of financially hamstrung at Rutgers a little bit. You're in a league that's very difficult to compete in. But I think this weekend could be a defining moment. He's under contract through 2030. He got that extension in 2023. But this weekend is so big for Rutgers for a number of reasons. A, they're 3-0. They have a chance to go 4-0. They're taking on Iowa, which has high expectations for this year in the Big Ten. And they got a hell of a schedule coming up. I mean, just listen to who they play after this. And this is why I think this game is so important for Rutgers. They've got Oregon on the schedule. They've got Illinois on the schedule. They got Penn State on the schedule. And they got Ohio State on the schedule. All 4 of those teams are ranked in the top 10. They probably won't win any of them.
Fair to say. I mean, could win one. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Probably won't. Man, Trav, it's and for both of these teams, this is a big game. Yeah, this one's going to carry weight for a bit. And man, do we just make too much of this as fans?
Every
coach, every player talks about this game-to-game, day-to-day thing, right? Do we make too much of this?
No, I maybe so. And this is going to sound like hyperbole. I'm going to say it's a defining moment for both these programs. Whoever loses this game, you're going to have to watch closely to see how they respond, because it doesn't get any easier for Rutgers. I don't think it gets any easier for Iowa. We've gone through Iowa's. This game, and you're right, week to week, you try to put the one behind you and move on to the next week. But every year there are defining games in a season.
Yeah,
Iowa State's maybe the Arkansas State game. That was the scare, right? I mean, that may be, you may look back at it and go, the fact that they were able to get out of Jonesboro after giving up a touchdown that was called back because of a penalty, you may go, that was the defining moment. And then they were able to get the bye week and come back. I look at these two teams and go, you haven't been great. Rutgers has had a powder puff schedule to this point. Iowa, with the exception of Iowa State, their 2 wins, powder puff teams. But this weekend could be a defining moment for either one of these programs. Not to greatness, but just stability for the remainder of the season.
Yeah. Not defining moment for the rest of the seasons. How are you? Hey, my buddy Ryan Carl said, hop into the camera here. Hey,
I thought he wasn't going to be there.
I didn't think he was going to be here either, man. These guys have to be here till like 9 o'clock tonight. I figured that they would be all late arrivers, but team's getting here all early and showing up and looking good. Got to work, he says.
Got to work. Guys got to work. Got to pay for that boat.
Yeah, he said you got to pay for that boat. So Trav, like not defining moments for the programs or either one of these guys' legacies or anything like that, but for this season, man, we talked about this last week when we started to look ahead for kind of the health of the fan base. We need some real optimism, not.
That's the way to look at it.
Not Albany and UMass, right?
Yes.
It needs to be. There needs to be a Big Ten win.
And yes, it's Rutgers, not the strongest tradition. Rutgers trying to go in a different direction. This is year 6 for Greg Schiano. So he's like, okay. And it was year 6, his first time around, where they turned it around. They went to that. They got 11 wins. That was in the Big East. I just think for this season, a lot hangs on this. And if Iowa were to lose this game, you're going to have a fan base that comes unglued.
Trav, if they lose this game, it's going to be real easy to look ahead and go, well, Wisconsin's probably going to beat us.
Minnesota's probably going
to beat us. Forget about the Oregon, Penn State, hell, Michigan State. It's going to look, if lose Friday, it looking bad.
And same for Rutgers. That's why this is an intriguing game on a Friday night.
It is. Didn't think of the weight of it here this early. This is interesting.
Well, each and every week, the weight gets heavier, and that's why I think this is a heavy weight for both teams.
Hawkeye defense wins this game for him. Hawkeye defense wins the game.
And he talked about the defense. He was giving high praise for the Iowa offense. This is Greg Schiano yesterday talking about taking on Iowa and the Iowa offense.
So, yes, they do gun run, but they also do pro style under center, right? So there's kind of like 2 different offenses you have to prepare for. And then the quarterback, when you watch him run, he reminds me of Johnny Langan. He's 6'2", 235, and he hits it down in there. It's physical. Now, it's not like they're running him a lot, but when they do, it's important, and he gets the job done. So we have to account for every phase of their offense, and that's a challenge.
Is he just being nice there, Ross, that you have to account for every phase of their offense?
Yes. I like when a coach goes, literally ram it in there. Get in there, ram it in there. Yes, that's coach speak. Are they worried at all? I mean, he didn't mention him throwing the ball at all.
No.
What he said was, man, we got to worry about when he starts to run the ball, he's a big guy to bring down. You don't have to worry about this Hawkeye offense through the air at all. All right, well.
I mean, we could be talking about a 9-7 game on Friday. Again, I don't want to see a 9-7 game. Those are boring to me. But if Iowa gets out of there with a 9-7 win, I'll take it.
You said 9-7. You said 9-7. I saw 3 field goals and a Weegan punt return, and that scares me. I don't know how good Rutgers is. I can't look at those box scores from those previous games, and quite frankly, I don't think it's fair to look at the Hawkeye box scores in 2 of their games and take anything away from them. But I do know that the offensive line is decent. The running backs are good. The defense is solid, and I like those chances. I have no idea what to expect from the quarterback position, and I haven't for now coming up on the better part of a decade. I haven't known what to expect from the quarterback line. So my expectations there are don't screw it up.
And I think that's where it comes to is the defining game of the season is that we're going to walk away from this game for both teams going, okay, we know where Rutgers is, we know where Iowa is. And I think that's that defining statement that coaches would push back, say one game doesn't define a season. I would say, well, sometimes they do. And this is why
hit it, Travis. You hit it on the head earlier, man. There are moments you can step back at the end of the year and look back and go, "Wow, things really turned at that moment."
Yes,
there was a pivotal point here when C.J. Beathard's knee almost went down in the Jack Trice end zone, and he ends up on the 35-yard line or whatever it was on that play. Those are defining moments. You have a field goal that squeaks across. I think that for Iowa State, this already shaping up as one of those years like you talked about where you're going to look back and go, holy cow, look at this one. Look at that one. We almost lost in freaking Jonesboro before going on this amazing – right? Those things can happen. I think you're right. At the end of the year, one of these teams will look back at this game and go, all right, we were able to right the ship there, or a Kansas State moment happened and man, it'll be more external than internal for the Hawkeyes. Meaning, if they lose externally, the fan base is going to explode. Black and Gold Rush will be epic, like Johnny says. If they lose, Black and Gold Rush is going to be epic.
I would agree. Even with an 8:00 game and us going on at like 11:30 at night,
live from Canada,
people are going to want to get something off their shoulders. The truth is, the winner, the loser of this game, it could mean a bowl game or not. I mean, it literally could mean whether or not you go to a bowl game. It's crazy to say.
Well, is it crazy?
No, it's not. I wanted to make myself feel better by saying it was crazy.
We went through I don't have the list in front of me, Travis. When we did the win-loss thing, didn't you have them at 7? 6, 7?
I think it was. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, you lose this game, and then because, like we said, you lose this game. I feel like it genuinely puts into question Wisconsin, Minnesota, Nebraska, Michigan State. I think you win all of those games right now. Right now, as a Hawkeye fan, I go, oh yeah, and I, you know when I'm really going to feel it? Saturday morning. When I wake up Saturday morning, dude, I'll have this Hawkeye growl inside of me. I wake every Saturday morning. I'm like, it's Hawks by a million, baby. Come on. I feel like Tyler Kluver for like 9 seconds.
Don't forget, you got to give him like $5 just for saying that.
Hawks by a billion. That's my trademark, registered trademark. Hawks by billion. I said billion. That's the. I saw somebody put that in there. Last week we had Tyler on, and they were like, "Hey Tyler, you remember the movie Something About Mary when they had the 6-minute abs? Remember that? Remember the guy who gets in the car and he's like, "Hey, you've heard of 7-minute abs, right? I got a new idea, 6-minute abs." He was basically saying,
Hawks by a billion.
Hawks by a billion. You own Hawks by a million? Okay. And yes, Tyler, you wonder if that was Carl? That was.
We found out yesterday that the Iowa-Indiana game will kick off at 2:30. That's going to be on Peacock. Here's some things I didn't know. Iowa and Indiana haven't played since 2001. It's kind of shocking that you have that much time off.
Wait, wait, what did you just say? Iowa and Indiana have not played since 2001?
Yes.
What? That can't be right.
It's right.
Iowa and Indiana, two teams that have been in the same, we got to slow down here. Two teams that have been in the same conference as my entire life. My entire life, Iowa and Indiana have been in the same conference. For 50 years, they've been in the same conference, I'm guessing.
Probably longer than that.
At least 47. They haven't played in 24 years?
No, or 2021. Sorry, my bad.
Travis.
I looked at the one. Sorry, but still 2021. Did I thought I said 2021. That's my bad.
I couldn't get
That's my bad. 2000. I just took a hit. Whatever Ray's smoking this morning. That's what I meant. 2021. Sorry, I did not mean to. That's my misspeaking. I didn't mean to freeze your brain.
I saw Antoine Randall. I know.
2020. Still, that's a long time. That's what I like about.
I agree with you. I agree. That's still a long time.
To dig myself out of this hole real quick and just move along and act like I didn't say something I said.
Hey, I'm the dummy who believed it for a second. I'm the dummy that was like, wait, that can't be. No.
Usually you're quick. You go, you mean 2021. Yeah. Like,
normally. This one, my brain. Because, again, it is the Big Ten. And I did have this thing of like, well, we play Ohio State. Play at Ohio State like once every 12 years or whatever the thing is. But, yeah, I should have picked up on this.
Okay. Let me go back deep in the 2000s, though. It's at Kinnick Stadium. Indiana has not won at Kinnick Stadium since 2007.
Now, that again, that's a hell of a run. That one I believe because it has been a dominant. I shouldn't say that. It feels like it's been a dominant one-sided thing with Indiana.
Well, because Indiana hasn't been good in football.
No. Been awful.
They've had good players. I mean, you brought up Antoine
Randall. Name another Indiana football player.
Michael Penix. That's about as deep as my Indiana football knowledge as I can go.
Yeah, I'm trying to run. Not many. So that's changed. One guy. Kurt Cignetti shows up, starts bringing in talent, starts telling everybody to believe in themselves, and they start winning games. Now, that chip on the shoulder thing doesn't last forever. That can't motivate forever, but they're good now.
So a 2:30 game on the 27th, and again, that's why the Rutgers game is so important. You lose that Rutgers game, you're not feeling good at all about the Indiana game. At all. Of course, Ross is at Willis Automotive today, and it's going to be a busy, busy day at Willis Automotive. Man. It's the new car show. It's got that new car room look, and you're going to be looking at the new 2026 models from Infiniti, Nissan, Cadillac, Lexus, Land Rover, Mini. And when you come out, the new car event starts at 4:45, goes until 7 o'clock tonight. Walk around the campus, see all these new cars, and eat some really good food, drink some really good drinks, and listen to some live music. It's like what a different car experience, right? You show up on a lot sometimes, just like you go straight to the car you want. Here you're like, I'm gonna grab a drink, I'm gonna walk around and check out the
Travis,
latest models.
now you're even being nice about what the stereotype of the car experience is so far from what the experience here at Willis is. Because the stereotype is even pull up on the lot and somebody comes out and tries to sell you.
Hey, real quick, because we got a phone call coming in. Yeah. We're running up short on time.
Fire away.
This is Mike. Mike, welcome to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on?
Morning, guys. There was a caller on your previous shows that would call in for the Hawkeye football. His name was either Brent or Brett. I haven't heard him call in recently. Is he okay, or have you heard from him recently?
We haven't heard from Brent on the new format, I don't think.
We haven't. He may not know we switched. I don't know. I don't know how to get a hold of him. Brent was an intelligent caller. I miss him because he would make you think about certain things. If anybody knows Brent.
Yeah, he was really knowledgeable.
Yeah. Because you called yesterday, wanted to have this
anyway,
question.
That's all I was calling about.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I did, and yep. Guess have a good day.
All right. Hey, thanks for listening too.
All right. Apparently, on another note that we're misspeaking, Travis and I hadn't picked up on this one either. Apparently, we said we keep talking about it being Saturday night.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's a brain conditioning to where you just assume you forget that they're playing on a Friday night.
And
My
because
bad.
I'm leaving town after tomorrow's show, I just about said tomorrow night.
Did you really?
I just about did. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Like a kid in a candy store.
Dude, can't freaking wait. Then Thursday morning, we'll fire it up, and I'll be live on the dock again.
Is Courtney going with you?
Courtney's going with me. Dusty and Luann are going with me, and Carl.
Oh, it's a couples trip.
With fifth wheel Carl, of course.
Oh, but is he bringing? He's not bringing his boat, is he?
No, leaving the boat here, and then we're going to roll up there. So it was, first time we've had a co-ed tournament up there, Travis.
Do you like that? A lot of times,
Yeah,
guys
it'll be
don't like.
fun.
Okay, some guys don't want the women invading their fun space.
I mean,
guys like that.
What's that?
Guys like that. Like no women on the trip.
Listen. The truth is that there is a different mentality. And it's not. This is nothing personal or, it's nothing against anybody. I think everybody understands this. When you've got your kids with you, you are in parent mode. When you've got your spouse with you, you are in spouse mode. And when you are with your buddies, you're in buddy mode. There's this great clip that goes around the internet of this. I think he's Australian and he's doing a morning talk show, and it's this guy who just like starts to monologue, Travis, and he says, "There's nothing like that feeling when you're with your mates on a Saturday morning and you crack that first beer on the train, and you know you've got no responsibility, dude. That's what it is. I feel like it is that for a moment you get to pause your reality." This is what it is with tailgating. This is what it is with when people get into a hobby. You get to be in a different world for a moment, and that's fun. You're not forgetting about your responsibilities. You're just putting them on pause for a moment, and that's a really fun thing to be able to do. And that's maybe what I'm looking forward to. Is that even though we continue, like I don't even see this as work, right? That's so much fun to get up and do this with you that. I'm looking for cracking that first beer. Won't even have a beer, but the theoretical cracking of the first beer.
Well, join us tonight at Willis Automotive and go into a new world, the new car world, 4:45 to 7. Ross and I are going to be hanging out. Come say hi to us. Make sure to share this show with anybody. Tell somebody, say, hey, have you listened to Travis and Ross? Here's where you find them, because we're here every day from 6 to 8. For Ross Peterson, I'm Travis Justice. This is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Body Armor. Real hydration with electrolytes. No artificial dyes and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity, and I'm excited to announce some great things we have going on this month. Right now we have retail cash of $10,000 on all 2025 QX80s and $8,000 all 2025 QX60s. For more information, come visit our showroom or online at willisinfinity.com.
bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.